This is the Lamson Hyperspeed M, and it's got the fastest retrieve of any Lamson fly reel. And today, I'm here to review it. That's right, Lamson is making yet another attempt to break into the saltwater fly reel game. Previous attempts haven't really gone so well. Though Lamson has always made a really great fly reel, when it comes to the saltwater game, they just haven't quite been able to put it all together in a complete package. That is until the Lightspeed M. I think the Lightspeed M is probably the first Lamson reel that has had any sort of reasonable success in the saltwater sector. And I'm not just saying that. I fished an old Vanquish, or Vantage, or whatever it was called. I had a Cobalt. I fished quite a few Lamsons in the salt, and I definitely get where people are coming from. But when the Lightspeed M came out, they stopped focusing on big drags and anodization, and instead focused on retrieval rate and lightweight. And those are the two things that Lamson does really well. And they've taken that a step further with the Hyperspeed. And to find out if the Hyperspeed is in fact a good reel, let's take it through our 5 factors, starting with the drag. And the drag on this new Hyperspeed is really strong. Due to the physics of torque, when you create a reel that has a really large diameter, the drag strength goes down. So in order to compensate for that, you need to create a stronger and bigger drag mechanism. And often, that's associated with more weight. So when you're designing a fly reel that has a really large arbor, you're trying to find that balance between having enough drag, but also being light enough. And with the Hyperspeed, Lamson has done just that. And the drag on this reel is astonishingly strong. It's just got tons and tons of drag strength. I'd put it up there in the 8 to 10 pound range, and for an 8-weight reel, that's a lot. For an 8-weight reel that's on a 5-inch diameter, that is an insane amount. And when you think about it in terms of torque numbers, the amount of torque this drag is putting out is really astonishing, especially at the weight, but we'll get to that later. In terms of turns, this drag goes from 0 to hero in about a turn and a half, which is not quite the single turn that some people are looking for, and not quite the sort of 2.5 turns that I really like, but I think it's totally fine. You've got some adjustability in there, and honestly, it feels pretty linear. And what I mean by that is that for every turn of the drag, you're actually getting some increase in drag. So you're not going from a pound of drag to 8 pounds of drag with a quarter of a turn. If you'd like to learn more about that, check out our shootouts. This being the Hyperspeed M variety, M for marine, presumably. It is a sealed drag, but of course, only time will tell us how sealed this drag really is. I'm gonna take Lamson's word for it for now. Up next is the spool, and of course, just by looking at this reel, you can tell that the spool is insane, and that's really the selling point on this Hyperspeed M. It has a 4.83 inch max diameter, which is truly, truly insane for an 8-weight reel. It's got a very, very narrow 0.9 inch width, and again, an absolutely absurd 3.83 inch arbor. That yields a retrieval rate of 13.2 inches per turn, which is really, really fast. In fact, this reel retrieves line faster than any reel in our big game 11-12 weight shootout. Only the Fortuna Regent comes even close to this speed, and that's a 12-weight reel. So you're getting all that performance on your 8-weight. To translate that into turns, that's about 91 turns to pick up your fly line. So you're gonna be able to do that absurdly quickly. In terms of capacities, this reel actually holds quite a bit of backing as well. You're gonna be able to fit 200 plus yards of backing with your 8-weight line. This review is brought to you by Trident Travel, which is our new destination travel service where you'll get our expert advice, planning, and guidance at no additional cost. That means no credit card fees, no booking fees, and for a limited time, you'll even earn Trident rewards on your travel bookings. So with every trip you book, you'll be earning valuable points that you can use towards free tackle here at Trident. Recently, we've had some clients go on some absolutely fantastic trips like tarpon fishing in Belize, Atlantic salmon fishing in New Brunswick, and trout fishing in Alaska. So if you're thinking about taking a fly fishing trip, Trident Travel is the way to do it. We've got a ton of great destinations, excellent service, and even more destinations being added every month. Check us out at tridentflyfishing.com/travel. Up next is weight, and this reel is actually really light as well. It comes in at 6.83 ounces, which is way lighter than most saltwater reels. In fact, this is one of the lighter saltwater reels, even though it has an absolutely insane retrieval rate, and frankly, a pretty insane drag as well. Well done, Lamson. Up next is sound, and well, let's take a listen. Overall, the Hyperspeed sounds good. It's not my absolute favorite sounding reel, of course, but it is totally fine. There's a tiny bit of differentiation between the incoming and the outgoing, which is nice to see, but frankly, I'd like to see a little bit more. You can't really tell the difference unless you're paying attention. But of course, if a fish is tugging on it, you're probably gonna know anyway. Overall, I think the sound is solid and definitely better than those silent retrieves. And last but not least are the ergonomics, and the ergonomics have remained pretty much unchanged on the Hyperspeed from the Lightspeed M, which is to say they're pretty good. You've got a really nice big game handle here. I think this handle is pretty much as good as any out there. The drag knob is also good, though there are better ones. Certainly the Sage Thermo is an easier to grab drag knob, but it also adds a ton of weight, so they couldn't do it on this reel. I would like to see maybe a little more surface area, maybe a slightly different grip here, but it works. Given the amount of drag strength that you can generate on this reel, there's really no need to tighten it way down. And because of that, it's totally fine. Of course, they also haven't changed the spool release here, which, as I've mentioned in previous videos of this and a lot of Lamson saltwater reels, it is definitely not my favorite. If it's on there tight and you want to take it off, it's going to eat into your fingers. They have, however, included new spool changing tools with a lot of their new reels, but this is a pre-production Hyperspeed, so they didn't send us one, but I'm going to guess that they'll probably send one with the production versions. And that leaves us with one final question, which is the price. And this Hyperspeed M comes in at $799, which is about $100 more than the Lightspeed M. And I think that makes sense. This is a more extreme reel in every sense of the word. It picks up line faster, it has more drag strength, and frankly, from every objective measure, this Hyperspeed is better than the Lightspeed M. So I think that pricing makes sense. Unfortunately, at $699, that Lightspeed was quite a bit cheaper than the Hatches and Nautiluses of the world. At $799, we're inching ever closer. Of course, those reels are also getting more expensive. I also think we've reached a point with this 5-inch diameter that makes you wonder, at what point is an 8-weight reel too big? Sure, there are going to be times when having ultra fast retrieve is really important. But I think for a lot of anglers out there, you're going to have to ask yourself the question, is going to the extreme to get that ultimate performance really worth it? This really is sort of the McLaren of saltwater fly reels. It's fast, it's unique, it's ultra high performing, and it's incredibly light. We're just not sure how it's going to hold up in the long run. Tell us what you think about this Hyperspeed M by leaving us a comment in the box below. And don't forget, if you're enjoying our reel reviews, it really helps us out if you hit that like and subscribe button. And of course, if you've got questions about this new Hyperspeed or any reel in the Lamson lineup, we've got answers. Give us a call at 888-413-5211 or email us 24/7 at support@tridentflyfishing.com. I'm Ben. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.